our next guest has published more than 24 children's books. His I Feel series is helping kids recognize and connect with their emotions in a fun and unique way. Welcome, DJ Corchin.
Thank you.
Hi, DJ.
Hi, how are you?
Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, congratulations on the books. They're beautiful.
Yeah, and when did this mission come? Because your books have a lot of meaning behind them and a lot of life lessons behind them.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you recognizing that. I think when I was younger, I realized that there are some complicated topics to find the words to start those discussions. And so when I became an author, I wanted to make sure that I was providing the words to start those discussions around complicated things like connections and emotions, and often parents in particular, or adults that are working with children, need to start a conversation about a complicated subject, and so these are places that they can start.
And let's talk about some of these words. Anxious, angry, sick. What are the others?
Yeah, so there's a whole bunch of different themes. So there's angry, anxious, sick, but I also talk about larger themes like apathy. So like you see, I feel meh, right? And just kind of can relate. There's not really a great word for how they're feeling, and they just want to go outside, and we always try to talk about behaviors so that children can recognize the different behaviors, so they know this is what it looks like when I'm feeling angry, and these are some of the things I can do to kind of come out of that.
Ooh, I feel two. That one's different.
That one is. That one's kind of a flip the script. It's a little bit about making others feel good will make you feel good as well. So going out of your way to compliment others.
Yeah, and we see one of your books in a recent Tom Hanks movie, A Man Named Otto.
Yeah. So that's really cool. So I feel angry, which is appropriate for the movie.
Look at that.
Yeah. I always like to say I'm the only author that has a book snuggled by Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
So that's my 15 minutes of fame there.
Yeah. How much did fatherhood influence these books?
Oh, well, tremendously. I think, I mean, now my kids roll their eyes when they see like these books in their doctor's offices, and they're like, oh, there's Dad's books again. But beforehand, I know I struggled with trying to find the words to talk about, you know, like things that they're really struggling with, and we didn't necessarily grow up having those tools. So, so there was a gap there that I wanted to fill. So it definitely helped.
Right, and these are all children's books, but you also have books for adults too, because we feel.
We do feel. Yes, we do. As we look on Instagram and Facebook, there's a lot of feelings out there. Yeah, I wrote a book called Shut Up and Feel. It's an adult picture book on emotions, and it's very adult, so it's definitely not for kids. But the way it was described by Gene Ha, who's a pretty famous comic artist out here in Chicagoland area, it's if Ted Lasso wrote a book for adults in the voice of Roy Kent.
Oh, okay.
But yes, we need ways to express, and also validation, that it's okay to feel these things. It's okay to do what you need to do to feel centered and get back to you.
Yeah, you talked about how we grew up. We all grew up at a very different time when it was especially as a boy, it was like, be tough, get back in there.
Yeah.
I mean, when you look back now, that stuff kind of hasn't aged well.
No, walk it off does not work well right now. Yeah. I think also, to be honest, like, I think life's a little bit more complicated too. You know, I have a daughter who's turning 12, and you know, she's curious about social media and all of that stuff, and we never dealt with any of that. And you know, we disappeared for the whole day on our bikes and came back, and you know, hope we weren't in trouble. That was about the worst I had to deal with.
Yeah. No, I was just talking to somebody about that, particularly growing up now in this generation. I can't even imagine what the pressures of social media. You have a couple events coming up too.
I do. Thank you. Yeah. So Printers Row Lit Fest is huge here in Chicago. So I'll be having a tent there, and I'll be doing a fun exercise with kids with drawing there, and I'll be at the New York Comic-Con coming up in November as well.
Right on. And we love your brother, Scotty K on US 99.
Yeah, he's a huge inspiration.
Right over there too.
All right, well, you can find out more info on DJ and all of his books, plus the list of his upcoming appearances on our website, abc7chicago.com.